All right. Earlier this week, we had City of Houston Mayor John Whitmire on our show. We got into a discussion about a lot of things, one of which was bike lanes, and the phones lit up, especially around Austin Street. And he said, you know what? You should really talk to Beth White, President and CEO of the Houston Parks Board. And with his blessing, we invited Beth to come on and talk about this concern. So for those who may not know, welcome, Beth White. Exactly what is your role? What is your title? What do you do? Tell us.
Well, hello there.
Hello.
I'm so happy to be here on your inaugural week.
Yes.
I've listened every day.
Thank you.
I'm Beth White. I'm the president and CEO of Houston Parks Board. We are the not-for-profit that focuses on expanding, improving, and protecting public parks, trails, and green spaces throughout the Houston region.
So Mayor Whitmire referenced, as Frank was saying, we were talking about bike lanes and increasing non-car transportation within the city. Is there any overlap between the City of Houston bike lanes and park trails?
There's always an intersection, right, of streets, trails, and parks.
Yeah.
And what our focus is on expanding and enhancing and connecting the Bayou Greenway system. That's the primary work that we do, is the off-street trails.
Well, you have to get to them.
Correct.
And you use the streets to get to them.
That's exactly right.
So how do we incorporate safe, good bike lanes on our streets that get us to the park trails?
So one of the ways that we're doing that, when you look at the Bayou Greenway system, first just to set the stage, it's 150 plus miles of linear parks and trails along 9 major bayous. They intersect with streets throughout the city. So where we can, we work closely with the city, and they're the driver for the on-street trails, but we're the driver for the off-street trails. So we have to work in close coordination, like where those trails need to be so that people can get to the Bayou Greenways. Because the whole point of the Greenways is to connect people.
Sure. Yeah.
Connect them to their communities, connect them to parks.
One issue, though, that came up, and it's something the mayor said, and it's continued through the responses from our audience, is his characterizing it as recreational use. And a lot of folks were concerned because it's not. It's the way they commute. It's the way they live in the city and can afford, and they think they're doing good for themselves health-wise and good for our environment at the same time. And some people, it's economical. Do we look at the recreational trails in the parks as commuter paths? And if not, then how are folks supposed to navigate the city if they're doing it on 2 wheels?
We look at the system holistically. So, yes, it's commuters, it's recreation bikers, it's pedestrians, it's people who want to move about the city in a different way. So it's an active transportation network, not just linear parks, but it is transportation.
But if you remove the street element of it, how then does that continue to work for the commuter on bike?
Well, what I'm hoping is that we can continue the dialogue for where these street lanes need to be and how can you do it. I mean, it's very challenging and, difficult to think about how we're going to make sure that our streets provide safe access for bicyclists and cars.
So then,
and pedestrians crossing the street.
Right, but then tearing up existing street paths, that's what we saw happen on Austin Street. Is there a plan in place to replace that conduit, that avenue, or is it being taken away after the money was spent to build it and now we don't have budget or a plan for what will replace it? Or don't I just have the full information?
Well, I think that is a question for Mayor Whitmire and his team. Okay. And I think they are looking across the city at where can we provide this kind of resource. I think it's unfortunate that it's not there any longer. But I really do hope that there's a continuing dialogue. I think this was a great place to start that dialogue in a very major way.
Yes.
But I think we have to really figure out how to create this. It's a tough issue for Houston. I think everyone agrees. The urban landscape of the city was shaped by cars because that was, in the 70s, that's when Houston exploded in terms of growth, and that was the dominant form of transportation. Yeah. And one of the council members said the other day, bike lanes are controversial in every city when you start putting them in. It's a major change in the way people get around.
Well, we don't even have sidewalks for most neighborhoods.
I agree with you, and I do know there is a significant emphasis right now on sidewalks, collecting the data where we have them, where we don't have them. That's a particularly important issue for us because while we're known for Bayou Greenways, we're really a parks organization. We started 50 years ago focusing on neighborhood parks. So we're trying to improve and protect and create new parks, but people have to get to them.
Right.
And sidewalks are critical because we can do all the work we want to do in the park, but if people can't get into them safely, whether walking in a wheelchair or on a bike, no one can use the park. So sidewalks are a huge piece of the puzzle for how people can get around, and then you have to look at, can you make the sidewalks wider?
Well, I haven't seen any sidewalks showing up. At least not in my neighborhood.
Well, I know Commissioner Briones just had a big announcement last week for putting in, I think it was like 50 miles of new sidewalks in her precinct that are inside the city. So I think it is happening out there. I think it's happening in pieces. And there are lots of players. It's the county, it's the city, it's the TERSs, it's the management districts. But our organization is doubling down on Bayou Greenways. So think about the way, and I brought you a gift.
Before you give us our gifts, hold one second.
Just want you to see the bio. I just use it as an illustration.
I love it.
Bios really go east to west. So we have to now think about how do you connect people north and south.
Hold on to that for 1 second.
Okay.
Celeste.
That's right. We are speaking with Beth White, and she's the president and CEO of the Houston Parks Board. Give us a call with your questions, 713-440-8870. Beth, that is so cool.
No, show it to us when we have a moment. We got to get our phone number in.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No.
So
Please.
what we're trying to do, we make these for our annual luncheon every year. What
You
we
can
try
see
to
it on our
remind
YouTube
people
channel.
of, this is the Bayou City. Our park system was designed to embrace the bios as the natural framework. And that got interrupted. It was in the Comey Plan of 1912 during the City Beautiful movement. And 100 years later, we've made that happen on 150 miles. So now how do you expand it out?
Yeah.
How do you connect north to south?
Well,
and so we're working with Centerpoint to take advantage of these big utility easement corridors where we can fit in trails. The mayor mentioned some of these the other day. Spring Branch, an 11-mile segment that will connect White Oak Bayou Greenway on the east all the way to Addicks Reservoir. We already have a portion open. We're designing and building the next one. We're taking a look at a trail in the Sharpstown area that'll connect Sharpstown to Braze, and that one is going to be probably another 4 miles, and that's going to go from Braze Bayou at 59 to connect people all the way up to Sharpstown.
And all of this is great. It doesn't address the bike lane issue on the streets.
It does in the sense that as you go along these easement corridors, you have to cross streets. So we need to coordinate together and look at, would a bike lane make sense to bring people to that connection to the north-south corridor or to Bayou Greenways?
Let me ask
There
a
was
question
a bike.
in here.
sorry.
Oh, no, that's
Sure.
okay. Just jumping because I know we're running out of time. My question is that one of the elements that seems to be a problem are these armadillos. And the mayor is concerned about disrepair for those and what it costs and the danger and all of that. I'm curious if what you do in the parks and how you keep bikers safe in the park as opposed to walkers, runners, other things, if there's lessons we can learn in that approach that can be applied to our streets, and are you talking in those ways with the city administration?
So in the parks and along Bayou Greenways, it's a shared use path. So we have enough room that we can build wide enough paths that they can be shared. However, we do put in safety features when we're going underneath a bridge or we're coming back up to the street where people have to cross to get back down to the
Are those things that
bios.
could be incorporated into city planning?
Yes, absolutely, and they are. And we've created a set of urban design guidelines for the Bayou Greenways that the city uses. So I think it all depends on the situation and the context. Armadillos may work in one place, Jersey barriers may work in another place.
Well, I want to tell you, I read the 93 PDF of your green spaces, and there are great ideas in there. And I hope that you can really incorporate them and do something about this situation. I hope you'll keep us updated.
Absolutely.
Come back whenever.
Absolutely.
That's right.
And we were part of the bike plan. We helped fund it. But our focus, and because we have such a broad mandate, we do neighborhood parks. We do the Bayou Greenways. We do the connectors. We're also working on 3 regional parks. You'll see McGregor Park featured on here as the regional. But I'd love to come back and talk about parks. I mean, trails are just an element, but
We have 2 hours every day.
awesome. I'll be back.
That's why.
Especially if you bring us gifts.
And congratulations. It's a great show.
Thank you,
you.
Beth.
Thank you.
Beth White is the president and CEO of the Houston Parks Board. Beth, truly, thank you for joining us today. And